What is life path number 1? Before we get started, if you'd like to know your life path, soil urge and destiny numbers, click my link in the description below. The life path number, also known as the destiny number, is the number that results from the numerological reduction of your date of birth. It offers insight about the core of your personality, and will also give you a greater understanding of the pathway to success in your life. If your life path number is 1, you are a hard worker, a passionate leader, and, at the same time, a creative and artistic soul. It's not always a mix that people expect, but it's the combination of your hard work and your creativity that make you likely to succeed in life. Life path, or destiny number 1, is the path of the great pioneer, and you allow nothing to stand between yourself and your goals, which are generally pretty lofty. You are extremely driven, often working long hours or throwing a lot of extra effort into any project you deem worthy of your attention. You're a natural at working for yourself, which is why many number 1s are drawn to entrepreneurial activities or freelance work. It's the perfect combination of self-motivation and freedom from having a boss breathing down your neck. You're a very creative thinker, and great at the sort of lateral thinking that has other people smacking their foreheads and saying, "Why didn't I think of that?" This makes you a phenomenal leader in all sorts of ventures. You march to the beat of your own drum, and are not afraid to boldly go where no other number has gone before. These are all great positives. But, of course, no one is perfect, not even the most driven and self-assured people in the world. The negative side of number 1s is that you can be very egotistical. Because you're so driven by success, you quickly become frustrated with people who you perceive as not working hard enough. You also have difficulty asking people for help, or taking orders. It can be a challenge for people with life path 1 to come to a satisfactory balance between their passionate desire for success, and their tendency towards being self-centered or arrogant. Having self-centered personality traits is not a very good way to make friends, and as we all know, making friends is one of the keys to success in life. Using numerology, people on life path 1 can come to have a better, more rounded understanding of their own natural personality traits and impulses, and by learning about these, can find the best way to use them to find success and achieve their goals. By unlocking the path meaning of life path 1, and coming to a fuller understanding of how it affects your outlook on life, you can use the positive points of the first path to your advantage, and find ways to avoid becoming entrapped by the negative parts. Life path number 1 in love and romance. Life path 1 likes to be in charge, and generally prefers to be the one making decisions in a relationship. Because of this, they can have problems when entering relationships with other people who have the same life path number, or who are otherwise extremely independent. When you struggle in a relationship, it's usually because you're having difficulty coming to successful compromises. Whether that's because your desires and your partners are simply too far apart and you're having trouble reconciling them, or just because one or both of you don't know how to talk your way to a compromise, it can be a challenge. Entering a relationship with a fellow 1 can be especially difficult. You will naturally be drawn to the passion and charisma, but struggle to reconcile both of your desires for leadership roles. If your goals are consistently aligned, you'll do great, but it's pretty tricky to find 2 people whose goals are always pointing in the same direction. It does, however, make you a great partner for quieter folks, because you are excellent at helping bring them out of their shells. It's important that you don't get into a pattern of talking over them, or allow their quietness to indicate to you that they don't have any opinions of their own, but frequently they'll be happy to let you take charge. You are most compatible with people whose life path numbers are 3, 5, and 6, as their dynamic and flexible personalities allow them to get along well with even the strictest and most type A 1. 3 is a relaxed and happy-go-lucky type that injects some humor into your life. 5 is an adventurer who will encourage you to stretch your boundaries while allowing you to stay in charge, and loving 6 is the perfect complement to your hard style. You're also a true romantic deep in your heart, and being paired with someone who wears their heart more on their sleeves can help bring that side of you into the light. You may have a lot of barriers up around your heart, but they can be easily disassembled with a light touch. Your willpower is one of your greatest assets in a relationship. Even in moments of doubt, you are determined to do everything in your power and more in order to make your relationship successful. You have no qualms about making your partner your number 1 priority, assuming that you've decided they're worth it. You're not afraid to drop everything to come to your partner's rescue. In some ways, you are a true knight in shining armor, and you will garner a great deal of respect and admiration because of this. You approach your relationships with the same grit with which you approach everything else in life, and they benefit enormously from it. In order to achieve romantic success, you must practice allowing other people to have more control power. By developing a more balanced approach to who carries authority, you can consistently form stronger and healthier bonds with others. A note: remember, as always, that numerological compatibility is not a substitute for the human factor that makes all of us unique. If it were as easy as compatible destiny numbers, you might as well be the exact same person as anyone born on the same day. Always take personal variations into account. Life path number 1 in careers and business. In numerology, 1 is a great indicator of business success because of your incredible drive. That hard work is highly beneficial to work environments, and can quickly lead you to success in whatever field you choose. Because ones so willingly throw themselves 110% into their work, and so quickly climb the ranks of their chosen profession, it is important that you choose work that you find personally meaningful in some way. If you don't, you run the risk of burning yourself out in that initial sprint to the top, getting bored when you reach your goals, and then dropping it completely. 1 is not generally a number that takes orders well. This is a problem when working under an overly complicated or inflexible power structure, or for a micromanaging boss, and haven't we all had to work for at least one of those? You want to be able to ask questions, and have the autonomy to do your job freely, and both rigid systems and rigid people impair that. You don't carry much natural respect for authority, believing that they, like everyone else, must earn your admiration for their ideas and behavior, rather than automatically having it by virtue of their position. Because of this, 1 frequently struggles in the workplace and butts heads with bosses who don't take this view. Another problem you may have is the feeling of futility that comes with any job where pay is based on time, rather than results. What's the use of all your hard work, if you're only going to be punished with more work so that you can stay in the office for the same number of hours? South Korean teacher, writer, and multimillionaire manager of a teaching empire Andrew Kim said, of his work, "The harder I work, the more money I make." I like that. That's an attitude that all people with a life path 1 can get on board with. Unfortunately, that's not how a lot of jobs work, which can be extremely frustrating. It's natural that you would want your incredible motivation to have some kind of material payoff, and feel unfulfilled or even misused when it doesn't. For this reason, many ones are drawn to entrepreneurship or self-employment. You are most fulfilled when you are rewarded for completed tasks. That way, the more tasks you complete, the more rewards you get. It also gives you a lot more freedom to decide when to work on what. And it opens you up for travel more conveniently, which is something many, though not all ones, enjoy. Do not feel as if you have to go into a traditional career just because people have told you you'll be successful in it. The truth is, you have the chops to be successful in just about anything, from medicine or law to writing or filmmaking. If anyone can succeed in tight industries, it's you. You just need to pick what it is you want to do, then start using your incredible energy resources to figure out what you need to do to succeed in that industry, then do it. Yes, it really is that simple. Finding fulfillment on life path number 1. One's numerology tells you to pursue your own path as a pioneer, a leader, and a chooser of your own fate. You will find most fulfillment when pursuing something that interests you, at a pace you choose, with results that satisfy you. This goes for work, pleasure, even relationships. It is important that you learn how to let this go at times, since it's just not possible to live life like this 100% of the time. There needs to be some give and take. Maybe you can give up a bit of control in your work so that you can have free time to pursue your other interests, or maybe you can give up a bit of control in your relationship because you love your partner and want them to be happy. Conversely, you will be least fulfilled when you feel that you are being artificially restrained. The feeling that you are just following orders, especially orders that have no functional reasoning behind them, is abhorrent to you. You are not afraid to ask why, when someone gives you an order that doesn't seem to make sense, and if the person you're asking can't give you a good answer, all respect for their order is instantly lost. You may or may not fill it out, but if you do, it's without any of your natural passion, and with growing suspicion for the person's authority. Many ones struggled in school because of all these artificial restraints. You were bright, but may not have been the best behaved, and there's an extremely good chance that you didn't put in nearly as much effort as you could have. After all, basically everything about the restraints placed on students in school is artificial. In your adult life, your distaste for artificial limitations has just as much of an effect in your relationships, or in the workplace. You have no time for playing mind games with your potential partners, and even less to taking crap from bosses. Any rule or restriction that you can't find any sort of logical, functional, or even emotionally beneficial purpose for goes right out the window. This can cause problems, but it can also be an extremely positive thing. It all depends on how you set up your life. You need to make choices that support your individualism, rather than running contrary to it. Design your life so that your individualism is an asset, not a liability. There are always ways to change your current lifestyle so that it fits better with what you really want in the world. If you're feeling unfulfilled, make changes today. For example, there are a lot of jobs where following orders and respecting authority is crucial, but also a lot where it's not, and you're much likelier to be happy, overall, in one of those jobs. This is not to say that number one has ever been happy in a job where they take orders, but the compatibility and satisfaction with that type of job is lesser, overall, among ones. Similarly, there are a lot of partners who will want to take charge, but also a lot who will be happy to let you do the leading. Again, there's no reason for you not to put your time and energy into one of those, rather than funneling it into trying to bend someone who clearly doesn't want to be bent to your will. Finally, you should take advantage of your nose for opportunities. You very quickly identify gaps in the market, places where innovation is needed, or new ideas that need to be explored. Not only can you identify these gaps, but you have a great deal of skill for figuring out ways to fill them. By jumping on these opportunities, you can promote a sense of variety and change in your life, which can help buoy you through some of the drier, more repetitive, less autonomous stretches that every life has from time to time. Final thoughts. The numerology definition of 1 highlights your individualism, your leadership, and your work ethic. These are all fantastic qualities, and highly rewarded by society if, and unfortunately only if, you know how to properly leverage them. If you use them to build a truly fulfilling and meaningful career, where you have autonomy and a sense of impact, and to build a well-balanced relationship, where you can take charge without stomping all over your partner, and you're destined for a life of perpetual success. Your skills will be respected, and you will reap their rewards. On the other hand, if you force yourself into jobs where you need to take orders that you don't believe in, or try to date people who have personalities that are just as forceful as yours without sharing your goals, and you may find that the old saying is true, and that one is the loneliest number. Knowing the number one's meaning can help you develop a lifestyle that is more consistent with your personal, internal desires and goals. By being aware of some of the tendencies, even the pitfalls, of 1, you can avoid the negative ones, and stay on track with the positive ones, leading to a well-rounded and highly successful overall life experience. Can you feel the power of your life path number 1? Are you a tireless worker with a strong independent streak? Do you sometimes struggle to reconcile your desire for success with your desire for autonomy? How will you harness your destiny number's natural energy to fulfill your goals and reach your dreams? Please like this post if you found it useful or enjoyable. Share it to share the advice contained here with other people who share your life path number.